Okay, so Bismillah Rahman Rahim. We are going to start with few questions. You can see this. The first question I have is about organic and organic with molds, right? Everything would be there. It's something very important. You can say that. बड़ा मजे का सवाल हो सकता है अगर आप करना चाहें तो. Let's see what the question is saying, बच्चों. The question is saying the structure of ethyl propanoate. अच्छा देखिए, just look at over here. Propanoate. This is not propanoate. This is propanoate. Why they are calling propanoate? Because you can see this in the structure. We have carbon-carbon double bond as well on the carboxylic acid side. Okay. Then the structure is shown. You can see this. Then they are saying circle the atoms in the structure that shows that ethyl propanoate is an ester. Right? They are saying you need to show that ethyl propanoate is an ester. So you need to circle this. This is quite simple, bacho. What you need to do, you need to circle out the linkage of ester over here. And we know that this is the ester linkage, right? Right, bacho? Bacho, is that right? You need to answer me. So I don't want answers on chat box. I want your answer by your voice. And mute your mic and confirm me the answer. Right or not?
सही है सर.
That's good. That's good. It should be like care. मुझे feel होना चाहिए ना कि मैं किसी के साथ बैठा हूँ. मैं अकेला बैठा हूँ, मुझे मजा नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. चलें. Next is part B. Aqueous bromine is shaken with a simple sample of ethyl propanoate. Explain in terms of the structure of ethyl propanoate why the aqueous bromine turns colorless. Simple as this. You can see this. The ethyl propanoate. You can see this. This is propanoate. Whenever you talk about compounds changing the color of bromine, it's all the time carbon-carbon double bond, right? It's just because of this, right? So you can see this in this structure. We have carbon-carbon double bond. So definitely this compound is going to be decolorizable. So you can say that ethyl propanoate contains carbon to carbon double bond. That is why it is decolorizing bromine, right, Bicho? So if you want to write this, you can. Otherwise, the 1 mark would be for this. Okay. Then the next one is ethyl propanoate is prepared by a reversible reaction between a carboxylic acid and alcohol, as shown. You can see this alcohol and carboxylic acid reacting and forming what? Ester in water. A mixture of the carboxylic acid and the alcohol is allowed to reach equilibrium. Name the alcohol used in the reaction. This is the alcohol. We know that whenever you have what? OH, this is what? Alcohol, right? Whenever you have COOH, this is carboxylic acid. So the second one is actually alcohol, and you can see this. How many carbons we have? Just 2 carbons. So 2 carbon वाले alcohol को क्या बोलते हो बच्चों आप? It's 2 carbon हो गए, और क्योंकि alcohol है तो ethanol. Right? Then the reaction uses an acid catalyst to state the effect of the catalyst on the position of equilibrium. We know that catalyst effect ना तो position of equilibrium पे है, ना color of the mixture पे है, ना ही आपके पास enthalpy पे है, ना ही yield पर है. There is no effect of catalyst on these stuff, right? We just have one thing, that catalyst can only speed up the reaction by lowering the activation energy. So you can say that no effect. After that, they are saying the concentration of alcohol is increased. Describe and explain what happened to the position of equilibrium. But you remember this. For suppose I am just considering this the whole equilibrium. For suppose I'm just considering this equilibrium. So this is one of the balance. For suppose I am considering, right? Just remember this point. Whenever I am going to add anything. For suppose right now they are saying that they are adding what? Alcohol. They are saying that you need to add what? Alcohol and tell the position of the equilibrium. So, but you try to solve this very easily. Just look at over here. Whatever you are adding, so the reaction always moves towards the lighter side, right? This is the easiest technique to understand the position of equilibrium, right? So you are adding this, so it become what? It become what? Heavier, and this side become what? Lighter, right? So if you are adding alcohol, so the reaction move towards right hand side. That's it. तो जो लाइटर साइड होगी उस तरफ चला जाएगा, बस ये आप ध्यान में रखो, ठीक है ना। ये एक नंबर आपको मिल जाएगा इसका राइट पोजीशन बताने का। दूसरा नंबर आप एक्सप्लेनेशन में ले लो, ठीक है ना। तो आपको क्या कहता है, वो कहता है डिस्क्राइब एंड एक्सप्लेन, डिस्क्राइब and explain what happened to the position of equilibrium. So you can say that position of equilibrium, you can say that position of equilibrium shifts toward right hand side. You can say that right hand side, or you can say that the product side, right? So right hand side, you can see this over here. You can get 1 marks for this because this is just an explanation, right? And then you, oh sorry, this is just a description of your answer. Now you need to explain your answer for the second mark. So you can say that as additional alcohol used up, additional alcohol used up to form more ester. All right, bacho. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, move on towards the second part of this question. The second part is here. You can see this, it's all about calculation and something. I got question over here for you. So this is the second question. They are saying in an experiment, 10.8 grams of carboxylic acid. Just look at over here. This thing is very important. 10.8 grams of carboxylic acid is reacted with an excess of alcohol, right? The experimental yield of ethyl propanoate is 9.45 grams. It means when you perform this experiment, so practically you got 9.45 grams of your yield, but they are saying you need to show the maximum possible yield of ethyl propanoate is 15 grams. You need to show this. You need to show the theoretical yield of this reaction. So let's see. It's simple. We can solve this. Just look at over here this question. They are saying this one, this part, this is going to be used and this is going to be formed, right? Remember this, the one which is using and the one which is going to be forming. We are not supposed to use alcohol. We cannot use this because it is in excess. So the one which is in excess, we cannot use that one for the calculation purpose. So we always use what? We always use the one which is limited, because whenever the limiting reactant is going to be ended, so the reaction is going to be ended. So there would be no more product after the limiting reactants end, right? So you need to keep remember, we always try to work on limiting reactant. We always try to find out the product mass, volume, concentration on the basis of limiting reactant. We never use excess reactant. All right, bacho. So we need to work from carboxylic acid to what? Ethyl propanoate. If you just focus over here, so they gave us the mass of carboxylic acid. So remember the 3 points I told you earlier, that first step is always moles. So what is given to you? You have carboxylic acid, which is 10.8 grams. So divided by the MR of this, so you can get the number of moles of this. Just look at over here. The MR of this is 1, 2, 3 carbons. So you get 12, 3 to 36. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrogens plus 4. And then we have oxygen. It is 32. It is what? It is 40, 72. So here we have 72 MR of this molecule. So if I divide both of them, so I got the number of moles. And what is the number of moles? So it is 10.8 over 72. So the number of moles right now I got is 15.15. All right. If you just focus on the equation, so you can see this, that right now you have 1 mole of this, you have 1 mole of this, and you are having 1 mole of ester as well. So it means that the relation between these two guys are same. So whenever the relation is same, we just need to leave this part, right? So we don't need to talk about the relation and find out the number of moles of the ester because the relation is same. So definitely the mole of the ester is also going to be same. So if we talk about the number of moles of ester, so they are also going to be 0.15. Now, bacho, what they are asking for the maximum possible yield of ethyl propanoate. So fine. The third thing is they are asking for mass. So fine, mass is actually the product of you have right now ethyl propanoate. So number of moles we need to find out the MR of this, and we just need to multiply both of them. The moles I got, but the MR we need to solve for this. You can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So 5 carbons means we have 60 mass of carbon. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hydrogens. So it would be 8 hydrogen over here, and then we have 2 oxygens. So it would be 32. So it become what? It become 100. So the MR of this molecule is 100 we have. So definitely we need to multiply it with 100. So you can see this once you are going to multiply it with 100. So it would give you what? 15 gram product according to the equation. You can see this. You prove this. You prove this, right? According to the equation, if you are calculating the mass of ethyl propanoate forming in this process or in this equation, which is 15 gram right now. But experimentally, when you perform this, so it is 9.45. So they're asking for the percentage yield, how much precise, how much accurate your experiment is. So we can find out the percentage yield as well. So it would be practical yield over theoretical yield. So practically we got 9.45, which is given in the question all the time. And theoretically by equation, we got 15. Divide both of them and then multiply with 100 to get the answer. You will be 9.45 over 15 is 63%. This means your experiment is 63% efficient and the rest of 37% are losses during the experiment. Is that right, every one of you?
Yes, sir.
Any problem? Any question that you want to ask?
Sir,
जी बेटे
theoretical yield कैसे find करेंगे?
बेटा theoretical
अगर given नहीं होगी तो
theoretically you can always solve from equation. Whatever the question you are solving of moles, that was actually theoretical yield. Whatever the question you are solving, right? Every question which is giving you mass, which is giving you concentration, which is giving you volume, whatever you are solving for, देखो वो सारे के सारे ही क्वेश्चन आपके पास आपको theoretical yield ही दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप जो भी कर रहे हो वो इक्वेशन के थ्रू कर रहे हो. तो इक्वेशन के थ्रू जो भी चीज सॉल्व होगी वो theoretical yield कहलाएगी. Practical yield हमेशा given होती है. ठीक है? You are not solving any sort of experiment in your lab, so you practically would be given would be asked from you. Definitely आप solve नहीं कर रहे हो ना, experimentally तो solve नहीं कर रहे हो, तो वो आपसे पूछेगा भी नहीं कि भाई बताएं आप क्या कहते हैं practical yield कितनी बनी. वो आपको कैसे पता चलेगा जब तक आप practically नहीं करेंगे. हाँ, until and unless you are solving paper 4 और उसने पूरा experiment आपको करके दिया कि भाई इतना %, then you can find it out, right? Chaliye, let's move on towards the next question. Here we have the next question, question number 7. Yes, but you can see this over here. The question is about sulfamic acid. Now, remember, if such type of acids are there in your exams, so don't be afraid about them, because they always told you everything. Just for suppose if you just focus over here, so they gave us the formula of this as well, which is NH2SO3H, and they are telling us that it is a white crystalline solid as well. So whenever they talk about such type of acids which are unknown for us, so definitely they told us the formula and everything about that. So you can see this, they will tell you everything about that. Just look at over here. It reacts with aqueous sodium nitrite to make nitrogen gas. All right. As shown in the diagram, you can see this. This is a sulfamic acid when it is reacting with nitrogen, sodium nitrite. So it is forming the following things in the products, right? Then an excess sulfamic acid. Excess sulfamic acid ka matlab we are not supposed to solve it according to sulfamic acid. We are not supposed to solve the question according to it because it is in excess. Definitely, we need to work on the one which is limiting. So you can see this reacts with 20 centimeter cube sample of 0.150 mole per decimeter cube of sodium nitrite. They gave us the volume and the concentration of sodium nitrite. So calculate the maximum volume in decimeter cube. ये देखना जरूरी है. Of nitrogen form, measure at room temperature and pressure. But so you need to focus the questions. You need to focus the question. You can see this, the 20 centimeter cube and 0.1 mole per 0.15 mole per decimeter cube is actually the concentration and volume of sodium nitrite. All right, this is the volume and concentration of sodium nitrite. You need to remember this whenever you are going to find out with this unit, whenever you are going to interact with this unit, this is actually for the concentration. You need to remember this, right? And if you talk about this, just this is for the volume, right? So whenever these two things are given to you, so what you need to solve, बच्चों, you need to find out the moles first. We know that हमें तीन step follow करने हैं. सबसे पहले moles निकालने हैं हर step के अंदर. So right now we have concentration, we have volume, so we need to use the formula concentration into volume. And the volume right now is in centimeter cube, so we need to divide it by 1,000. Convert it into decimeter cube because the unit of concentration is in decimeter cube. So whenever you are solving questions in physics and chemistry, the units should be same, right? All right, so the concentration is right now 0.150 and the volume right now is 20 centimeter cube. So just find it out, number of moles, and these are the number of moles of sodium nitrite. Keep it, remember, this is the number of mole of sodium nitrite. So we can solve this. 20 over 1,000. 20 over 1,000 is 0.02 into 0.150. So the number of moles right now I got is 0.003. When they are saying about the nitrogen gas, just remember this, but the question is for 2 marks, right? So why they are asking this question for 2 marks, they should ask this question for 3 marks. But you can see this as the relation is obvious over here. It is what it is 1:1. This is 1:1. So definitely the relation marks is not there because we don't need to work for a relation over here. Now the relation is same for both of them. So when the relations are same, so that means the number of moles are same. So if the number of moles of sodium nitrite is 0.03, so the number of moles of nitrogen is also 0.003 because the relation is same. You can say that second part जो है आपका first part में आपने मोल निकाले, second part में आप relation लगाते हो, so the second part is relation is same. So that is why the number of moles of nitrogen is same. So you can see this when the number of moles are same, we don't need to apply relation. That is why the mark is not there. Okay, and then after this, the third step is required variable. Right now we need to find out the volume of gas in decimeter cube. So whenever we need to find this, we need to multiply moles with 24. So multiply 0.003 with 24. So it would award you the mark 0.003 into 24. It would give you 0.072 decimeter cube volume. Then the next part is saying the rate of this reaction can be determined by measuring the volume of nitrogen from every second. Draw a little diagram of the assembled apparatus that can be used to collect and measure the volume of nitrogen formed in the reaction. This is for 2 marks. So you need to draw a proper diagram with one apparatus which can measure the gas. So it would award you second mark for that. So let's draw this, बच्चों. ये हो गया conical flask for me. ये हो गया गंदा हो गया. This is conical flask for me, and then I just adjust one delivery tube over here as well. And with this delivery tube, I'm going to connect what? a gas syringe. But to remember this, that whenever you talk about gas syringe, you need to show the marking over here as well. Right? And the very important thing is the showing of cork. This apparatus should be closed. Right? This apparatus should be closed, bacho. This is cork I have. All right, so this is apparatus I got, bacho. You can see this. For suppose I have some acid over here. I'm taking this acid for suppose over here. This is acid I have, right? And I'm taking a few, for suppose, sodium nitrite particles over here, or acid over here, whatever. Just like this. And then whatever the gas is forming would release from there. And if you want to mark second mark, so you need to show this gas syringe is graduated. This would award you 1 mark, because when the gas is going to be added over there, so it is going to be collected and measuring the volume with respect to time. So 1 mark for the correct assembling or the correct closure of the apparatus, and the second mark for what? The graduated gas syringe. All right, bacho, this is bung. You need to keep remember. They can ask an exam paper 4 में पूछ सकते हैं आपसे what is this? So you need to keep remember the one which is used to close the container is known as bung. And this is what? This is gas syringe, right? This is the best apparatus to measure the gases, right? This is what? This is conical flask. We don't need to label it for these 2 marks, but they can ask an exam of paper 4. So that is why I'm telling you all this stuff. All right, bacho.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move on. When we move on towards the next question, so here it is, the next question we have. Yes, here you have the next question, but so just look at over here. This question is about sulfuric acid and sulfates. All right. The part A is saying sulfur is one of the raw material used in contact process to make sulfuric acid. Name the 2 other raw material used to make sulfuric acid. Okay, this is the older question. This is one of the questions from, you can see this. The air is not mentioned over here. This is definitely the part of 2019 or 20. So that's why they are asking for contact process. So you don't need to worry about that. Why they are asking for contact process. But I just ask you guys to remember the contact process as well, because sometimes because this is a transition air, so you can say that there are many problems maybe occurring in exam, because something is like going to be या पिछले साल था अब नहीं है, तो आप लोगों को बहुत सारी परेशानियां हो सकती हैं, तो आप लोग पहले से तैयार हो, ठीक है ना। कॉन्टेक्ट प्रोसेस डेफिनेटली हमारे सिलेबस में नहीं है, लेकिन उसने नाम यूज किया है। नाम यूज किया उसने सिर्फ इसलिए कि आप ये वाली इक्वेशन याद रखें। Sulfur dioxide is going to be reacting with oxygen and forming sulfur trioxide, and this is a reversible reaction, and we are using 450 degrees centigrade temperature over here, and 1 to 2 atmospheric pressure over here, vanadium pentoxide catalyst over here. We use all these stuff over here now. And before this, you need to keep remember that by sulfur burn without sulfur dioxide. Definitely, this is not a part of our syllabus as a contact process, but this is in our syllabus in you can say that air and atmosphere. If you just look at over there, so we know that sulfur oxides are acidic in nature, and they produce when volcanic eruption occur, and they produce when fossil fuels burn in the industry, right? So this is the part of our example. This is the part of our exams, and this is a part of our exam. So after that, but so what is the part of our exam? If you remember, environment and atmosphere. So sulfur dioxide can dissolve in water and forming what? Sulfurous acid. And also sulfur trioxide, when dissolved in water, it forms sulfuric acid. And when they dissolve in clouds, so they form what? Acid rain. So they are also the part which are syllabus parts. So whenever they ask for conversion of sulfur trioxide or sulfur dioxide into sulfuric acid, so it's not always associated with sulfur or contact process. You can even say that in this way, कि भाई सल्फर ऑक्साइडाइज होकर सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड बना, दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ सिलेबस। देन सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड इन सारी कंडीशंस में सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड में कन्वर्ट हुआ, दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ सिलेबस। एंड देन यू कैन स्टॉप, you can tell this one, the last one example. So when sulfur trioxide is going to be dissolved in water, it is going to form what? Sulfuric acid. We don't need to form oleum and whatever we were talking about in contact process, but these all stuff are in our syllabus, so you need to keep remember this. So when you are going to write these things, you can definitely avoid them. Right, bacho?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
they are saying sulfur is one of the raw material and they're asking for the other raw materials. So you can see this. One raw material is oxygen and one raw material is water. So you can say that oxygen and water. So that would be acceptable. And after that, name the catalyst used in the contact process. This is a part of our syllabus. So you can say that they are asking for names. So you need to name them. And if you are writing any name of any transition metal, so you need to keep remember, but so that you need to mention the transition state of that element. So it is vanadium pentaoxide, right? And do not write formula. देखो formula में आप गलती कर सकते हो, अगर वो नाम का पूछ रहा है तो कोशिश करो नाम ही लिखो ताकि नंबर मिल जाए। ठीक है, the electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid using inert electrode produce oxygen at anode. Define the term electrolysis. What is electrolysis, बच्चों? This is a breakdown of electrolyte. Breakdown of electrolyte. अब electrolyte आपने देखा है, इसके बराबर में आप लिख दो molten and aqueous ionic compounds. Breakdown of electrolyte by the passage of electricity. By the passage of electricity. Produce new substances. To produce new substances. Right. So this is the definition for electrolysis. You can write. Construct the equation for the reaction taking place at cathode. So you can see this dilute sulfuric acid you are using. So we just have hydrogen ions over there, and you need to keep remember the equation for hydrogen ions. This is very much important for cathode because many times, except molten solutions and except the least reactive metals, all time hydrogen gas is going to form at cathode. So this is very important equation to keep remember about this. Right. Let's move on towards the next. Part C part is saying dilute sulfuric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide. A student adds 0.76 gram of solid sodium hydroxide to 45 centimeter cube of 0.2 mole per decimeter cube sulfuric acid. Show by calculation that the sodium hydroxide is in excess. All right. देखो जब भी आपको लिमिटिंग और एक्सेस रिएक्टेंट डिस्क्राइब करना होता है ना कि यार इन दोनों में से कोई एक लिमिटिंग और इन दोनों में से कोई एक एक्सेस है, तो हमेशा याद रखो आपको दोनों की जो है इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन होगी और आपको दोनों के ही मोल्स निकालना पड़ेंगे. You can see this बच्चों right now 0.76 gram sodium hydroxide is given to you, so you can divide it by MR and get the number of moles. And also if you focus, so the volume and concentration of sulfuric acid is also given to you, right? So you can say that we can multiply concentration into volume to get the number of moles. तो हम पहले दोनों के मोल्स निकालेंगे, ठीक है ना? तो 2 मार्क्स आपको वही मिल जाएंगे. Moles of sodium hydroxide जब आप निकालेंगे तो this is mass given to you which is 0.76. You can divide it by MR. What is the MR? We have sodium hydroxide का MR होता है बच्चों 40. जब आप इन दोनों को डिवाइड कराओगे तो आपके पास क्या आंसर आएगा देख लो. It is 0.76 over 40. So ये आपके पास आंसर आ रहा है 0. moles of sodium hydroxide आपके पास कितना आ रहा है 0.019. ठीक है, ये हो गया आपके पास पार्ट. उसके बाद हम फाइंड आउट करते हैं नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड. सो मोल्स ऑफ सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड जब आप फाइंड करोगे तो द कंसंट्रेशन इनटू वॉल्यूम वाला फॉर्मूला लगाओगे और वॉल्यूम जो है आपके पास सेंटीमीटर क्यूब में, तो इसको डिवाइड बाय क्या करोगे 1000 करोगे. सो द कंसंट्रेशन राइट नाउ वी हैव इज 0.2 and the concentration we have is 45 over 1000. ये हो गया बच्चों 45 over 1000 into 0.2. So right now the moles of sulfuric acid is 0.009 moles of sulfuric acid. देखो अब दोनों के मोल्स आ गए. ये वो मोल्स हैं जो कि ऑलरेडी आपके पास मौजूद हैं, ठीक है ना? अभी ये वो मोल्स हैं जो कि आपके पास मौजूद हैं. अब आपने इसका रिलेशन लगाना है, ठीक है ना? अब क्योंकि आपने इन दोनों को फाइंड आउट करना है कि which one is excess and which one is limiting, तो आपने इसी का रिलेशन लगाना है, ठीक है? चलें रिलेशन लगाते हैं. अच्छा मैं रिलेशन रेड वाले से लगाता हूं. देखें sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide according to equation अकॉर्डिंग टू इक्वेशन, इक्वेशन क्या कह रही है आपसे? इक्वेशन आपसे कह रही है कि अगर आपके पास एक सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड है, यू कैन सी दिस 1, सो आपको सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड चाहिए 2, और आपके पास कितने हैं सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड? 0.009, तो आपको कितने चाहिए होंगे सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के मोल्स बच्चों? You can send this one over here and this one over here. It means that 0.009 into 2 will give you 0.018. ये आंसर आएगा बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
0.009 into 2, 0.1018. ठीक है, अब आप देख सकते हो कि आपको चाहिए कितने हैं? You require these number of moles of NaOH. These number of moles आपको NaOH चाहिए, but आपके पास हैं कितने? This one. But we have 0.019. तो बच्चों बताओ 0.018 कम है या ज्यादा है? बच्चों 0.018 कम है या ज्यादा है?
कम है सर।
कम है, तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? आपके पास ज्यादा, आपके पास जो है 0.019 मौजूद है, और आपके पास यूज कितना होना है? 0.018, यानी कि आपके पास 0.001 अमाउंट या मोल सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के बच जाएंगे। सो इट मींस सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड आपके पास क्या है? एक्सेस में है, ठीक है ना? इट मींस सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड इज इन एक्सेस। सिंपल। अगर आप इस तरह नहीं करना चाहते, आप दूसरा रिलेशन लगाना चाहते हो, तो आप दूसरा रिलेशन लगा लो, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। देखो मैं आपको दूसरी तरह से रिलेशन लगा के दिखाता हूँ। इस तरह लगा के दिखाता हूँ मैं दूसरा रिलेशन आपको सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड के थ्रू लगा के दिखाता हूँ। देखिए, अब अकॉर्डिंग टू सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड अगर आप इसको सॉल्व करते हो, मैं कलर चेंज कर लेता हूँ। सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड और सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड का आपस में रिलेशन कितना है बच्चों? आपस में रिलेशन है 1:2 का। अब पहले मैंने सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड के मोल्स दिए थे ना, अब मैं यहाँ सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के मोल्स ले रहा हूँ। फॉर सपोज अगर आपके पास 0.019 मोल है किसके? सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के, तो आपको सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड कितना चाहिए होगा? लुक एट ओवर हियर, आपको सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड चाहिए होगा, इट वुड बी 0.019 डिवाइड बाय 2। ये हो जाएगा भाई 0.019 डिवाइड बाय 2, तो ये हो गया 0.0095। कितने मोल्स आपको चाहिए? 0.0095, बट आपके पास हैं कितने? 0.009, यानी कि कम है आपके पास, तो ये खत्म हो जाएगा। बट वी हैव 0.009, चाहिए हमें ज्यादा है, तो हमारे पास मौजूद कम है। इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? आपके पास H2SO4 क्या हुआ? लिमिटेड हुआ। तो इस तरह आप किसी भी तरीके से करेंगे, आपके पास यही आंसर आएगा। ऑलराइट बच्चों?
यस सर।
Yes,
चलो
sir.
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ चलते हैं। ये सारे क्वेश्चन मैंने जमा करके रखे थे आप लोगों के लिए, और आप देख सकते हैं कि काफी मजे के क्वेश्चन है सारे। हम अगर इसको सॉल्व करने बैठे हैं तो काफी इंजॉय करते हैं, क्योंकि मोल्स दैट आर समथिंग लाइक, बड़े अच्छे टॉपिक है ये, लेकिन डिपेंड करता है कि आप इसको किस तरह समझते हैं। अगर आप इसको बोझ समझेंगे तो ये कभी भी आपको मजा नहीं कराएगा, तो आप इसको एंजॉय करके पढ़ें, इंशाल्लाह आपको मजा आएगा। ठीक है, दूसरी बात ये बच्चों के, आप याद रखिए कि मोल्स जो है ना, ये पहले करने वाली चीज है, मोल्स बाद में करने वाली चीज नहीं है। अगर आप ये सपोज कर रहे हैं, फॉर सपोज यू आर वेटिंग फॉर द लास्ट 10 डेज कि भाई मैं लास्ट 10 डेज में या लास्ट 5 डेज में मोल्स करूंगा, सो इट विल इट वुड बी प्रेशराइज्ड योरसेल्फ, राइट? तो आपने याद रखना है कि अगर आपने मोल्स की प्रैक्टिस करनी ही है, मोल्स की मेरी वीडियोस देखनी ही है, मोल्स को अगर रिवाइज करना ही है अपनी कॉपी में से, मोल्स के पास पेपर्स अगर आपने करनी ही है, तो ये वो चीज है जो कि थोड़ी सी डिफिकल्ट है, और ये थोड़ी सी कैलकुलेशन बेस है, ये आपके दिमाग के ऊपर जो है जोर डालती है। ठीक है ना? तो ये पहले से पहले कर लो, जब आप रिलैक्स हो तो उस कंडीशन में, उस वक्त में आप जो है इसको सॉल्व कर लो। और अगर आप ये चाहते हो कि नहीं भाई मैं तो इसको आखिरी के लिए छोड़ूंगा, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि फिर आप अपना नुकसान कर रहे हैं। अब आप इसको आखिरी के लिए ना छोड़ें, आप इसको पहले करें। आखिरी के लिए वो चीजें छोड़ें जो रट्टा बेस है, आप उसको आराम से कर सकते होंगे, कोई मसला नहीं। आप सॉल्ट्स को आराम से कर लेंगे रिवाइज, आपको आप रिवर्सिबल रिएक्शन को आराम से रिवाइज कर लेंगे, आप जो है ऑर्गेनिक को आराम से रिवाइज कर लेंगे। बट मोल्स, एनर्जेटिक्स, ये चीजें ऐसी हैं जो इंसान भूल जाता है, और ये कॉन्सेप्चुअल है, तो कॉन्सेप्चुअल चीजों को आपने पहले करना है, ताकि एंड में टेंशन में, एंजाइटी में, और आप जो परेशान हो रहे होते हैं, बड़ा वो कहते हैं डीमोटिवेट हो रहे होते हैं, हमें मोटिवेशन नहीं मिल रही होती, तो उन सारी चीजों के दौरान ये टॉपिक आपको फिर मुश्किल लगेगा। कि आप खुद इतने परेशान हो गए, आप जितनी कोशिश करोगे आपसे नहीं होगा और गुस्सा होगा आपको अपने ऊपर, ठीक है ना। तो इसको पहले से करके साइड में कर लो। इसीलिए मैंने भी कोशिश की है कि पहली क्लास में आपको यही करना है। अगली क्लास में डेफिनेटली मैं कुछ और ऑर्गेनिक के कुछ क्वेश्चंस और इंशाल्लाह आपको जो है कुछ उसके बाद सॉल्ट्स वगैरह कराऊंगा। सो फिलहाल मैंने सबसे पहले यही सोचा कि आपको मोल्स के बारे में गाइड कर दिया जाए और साथ साथ जो भी पार्ट थे ना क्वेश्चन के मैंने वो भी साथ रखे ताकि मैं आपको वो भी रिव्यू कराता रहूं और वो भी आपको बताता रहूं। So let's move on towards the next question, बच्चों. The next question is saying water from natural source contain dissolved substances which are not pollutants such as mineral salts. Name another substance found naturally in water which is not a mineral salt or a pollutant. तो आप कह सकते हैं this is dissolved oxygen. This is not mineral, but this is not even pollutant as well. So next part is saying when lithium reacts with water, aqueous lithium hydroxide and hydrogen gas are formed. Construct the equation for this. This is very simple. The part of periodic table, whenever group 1 metals are going to be dissolved in water, they are always going to form hydroxide of group 1 and along with hydrogen gas. And for the balancing, you can write 2 with all of them. Right, if you want to write state symbols, if they ask for 2 marks, तो आपने state symbol भी लिखने होते हैं। और लाजमी इक्वेशन को देख लिया करें कि इक्वेशन से पहले वही स्टेट सिंबल की बात तो नहीं कर रहा। अगर वो बात करेगा तो आपको वहां पर 1 मार्क मिलेगा। बहुत सारे बच्चों के पिछले पेपर में भी स्टेट सिंबल्स की वजह से मार्क्स कटे थे 3 से 4। So metals are always solid, water is liquid, lithium hydroxide is group 1 salt, so it is soluble in water, and this is gaseous. Right, then sodium and potassium reacts with water in a similar way to lithium. Explain in terms of their electronic configuration why lithium, sodium, and potassium are all react in a similar way. So you can say that they all have 1 electron in the outermost shell. In the outermost shell. That is why they have same electronic configuration. So definitely they perform the same reaction as well. Describe the Tranio reactivity of group 1. When we move down the group, reactivity increases. So you can say that reactivity increases. अच्छा सिर्फ ये लेके ना छोड़ दें, पूरी बात करें। Reactivity increases down the group. आप कोई भी ऐसी contradictory आप स्टेटमेंट ना दें कि आप फंस जाएं वहां पर और एग्जाम में आपको मार्क्स ना दें। आप हमेशा क्लियर बात लिखें ताकि मार्क्स आपको अवॉर्ड हो सके, ठीक है ना। Reactivity increases down the group. If you talk about group 7, so reactivity decreases down the group. ये क्लियर रखिएगा ज़हन में ये चीज, क्योंकि टेंशन क्रिएट करती है, प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करती है, तो ये पूछी जाती है एग्जाम में। Then water and oxygen are formed when aqueous hydrogen peroxide decomposes. Calculate the maximum volume of oxygen. What they are asking for, maximum volume of oxygen, and oxygen is gas, so you can multiply it with 24 to get the volume. Then they are saying produced by complete decomposition of solution containing 16 gram of hydrogen peroxide. 3 marks. Again वही 3 पैटर्न के क्वेश्चन है, ये 3 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है। क्या करोगे कि सबसे पहले मोल्स निकालोगे। मोल्स किसके निकालोगे भाई? हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड के, बिकॉज द मास ऑफ दैट इज गिवन टू यू। मास गिवन है 16 ग्राम, उसके एमआर से डिवाइड कराओगे। व्हाट इज द एमआर ऑफ दिस? ऑक्सीजन का होता है 32 प्लस 2 34। कितना हो जाएगा ये? 34 से आप इसको डिवाइड करा दो, कितने मोल्स आ जाएंगे देख लो। मोल्स आ गए आपके पास राइट नाउ 16 डिवाइडेड बाय 34, 0.47 आपके पास मोल्स आ गया 0.47. Now just look at over here the relation of peroxide and oxygen. So just find out the relation. There is no use of water, so remember, do not apply a relation with water, just use the relation of these two. So this is 2:1 initially in the equation, and right now you have 0.47 moles. So how much it would produce? Half of this definitely, so 0.47 by 2. So it would give you the number of moles of oxygen. So this is the number of moles of oxygen, which is, you can say that X, and this is 0.235. Yeah, again moles. And then you need to find out volume. So the third variable is volume. So volume in decimeter cube if you want to find out. So definitely you need to multiply moles with 24. So 0.235 into 24. 0.235 into 24 will give you 5.64. This is the answer of this, and you need to focus this part. They are saying 3 significant figures. 3 significant figures में आपने अपना आंसर देना है, तो इसका भी 1 नंबर आपको मिलेगा, ये भी याद रखिएगा। All right, every one of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear.
चलें आगे चलते हैं, शायद और
Clear.
क्वेश्चन चलिए हम कर चुके हैं। ये भी हम कर चुके हैं। तो हमने सारे ही क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिए हैं। एक आध क्वेश्चन मेरे पास और होगा, मैं देखता हूँ। यस, हियर इट इज, जस्ट लुक एट ओवर हियर बच्चों। ये क्वेश्चन मेरे पास मौजूद है। अब ये जो है, ये क्वेश्चन मौजूद है। और मेरे पास एक ये क्वेश्चन भी मौजूद है। देखिए मैंने यहाँ पर दो क्वेश्चन आपके लिए सजा दिए हैं। आप जरा इन दो क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करेंगे। दिस इज योर टास्क नाउ, यू नीड टू सॉल्व दीज क्वेश्चंस। आप इन दो क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करें। चलिए स्टार्ट कीजिए।